Ta-da! Hello, Ezemy1, and welcome back to Sudoku 2, Lineage of Logic. I'm your usual everyday time-puzzling rat girl, Ezemy Jika, and today we're looking at 15! Wow, isn't the number 15 cool? It's, it's alright, I guess. Anyways, I've written down all the possible ways to make 15. You can make it in 2 cells, or even up to 5 cells. And there's quite a few ways to make it in 3 cells as well. This, I don't know if it'll actually be super useful, but it might be a good reference when looking at potential sums for things. But with that, let's look at this. I was saying earlier that this region would have to contain a 9 and a 1. And potentially this could be 195, right? And if it is, then this would have to be 834. And this would just be the remaining digits, which would add up to 15 anyways. However, if the 1 and the 9 were separated, like for example, this was the 9, then this could be 942. 942. I don't think that would work, actually. The 9 without the 1 is 942. And if we put this, if we take 4 and 2 off of this, that leaves 3 and 5, which would add up to 16. This needs to be 5, 2, or 3, 4. So 942 is not a valid combination. 942 is not a valid combination for this box. So I think that means that we cannot leave the 9 alone or the 1 alone. Because if it's like, we can't use 861, obviously, and well, yeah, obviously we can't use 861 because there's not a 1 here. So this section of the line needs to be 951. Pulling a 5 and 2 off of these two cells and leaving this with what? 762? Yes, because the 2 is pulled off of that area. Yeah, so that knocks a 9 off of this, which knocks 6 off of that, which is still disambiguable. But this 3, 4 goes back into this grid, putting a 5 here, pulling a 5 out of this cell, and knocking 5 and 4 off of this digit, meaning that is a 6. Pulling 6 off of both of these cells. That does not really go backwards much further than that, unfortunately. Well, it pulls a 6 out of this cell, meaning there's a 6 down here, which puts a 6 up here. Well, this 276, that could be interesting to look at. Oh, this 3, 4 pulls a 4, puts a 5 here. Doesn't really help. This 2, 6, 7 also needs to go here by this box, the office's box. Oh, these two digits are constrained. They're 1 and 2, right? And this one can't be a 2, so that's a 1, that's a 2. 18. 18 has to be at least 2... No, it needs to be at least 3 cells long. This yellow line, we're putting a lot of digits on it for a line that we don't know what it is yet. 18... If it can't be, it's either 3 or 5 digits long. But if it's all 5 digits, it necessarily contains this 8, which, well, I guess it could actually be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8. That would actually work. That would be completely fine, I think. Because you could put the 1 here, the 2 here, and then 3, 4, and 8. Actually, these digits are 3, 4, and 8 just by box. And these 3 digits, what are they? They're 1, 5, and 9. And we don't see anything in this box or row, so that doesn't go backwards at all. So in these 3 cells, could this conceivably be 18? No, the maximum for this would be 12. Um, or 11, or 7. Yeah, no, it has to be all 5 cells, putting a 1 here and a 2 here, which also puts a 2 here. So these are 1, 3, 4, 8, and 2 in some order. This 6 and 7 finally lets us disambiguate this fully. That's a 9, and that's the 6. Aha! And we can finally see our first boss! There's definitely some other weird stuff going on up here. That's grid 6. I'm not going to look at that too closely because we probably won't be able to get in there anytime soon. Well, we do have a cell of it revealed, though. But maybe I should just go for the boss. You see a group of 4 brutes sitting around a fire pit. On the ground to the side is a youthful figure who appears to be tied up. You know what? I think I will just fight the boss. Because it's there and we gotta rescue this person. Let me put that away for now. Clone Squad. Gathering your courage, you step out into the open. You're only here for answers, but you can't just leave someone in trouble. You can see as you approach that the bound figure on the ground is an adolescent girl. She stirs when the 4 thugs speak. Well, look at this. Friends, we've got another guest. The gravelly voices bark out in unison. You notice with unease that they all have the same face as well. Clones? Each man turns to look at another, and they seem to be conversing despite saying the same things. Lots of visitors today, aren't there? Yeah, let's bring them as well. As they all stride towards you, you lock eyes briefly with the tied and terrified girl. 1 to 9 So we have 1 to 9 Sudoku, we have jumps, inequalities, we have consecutive dash, white crop key. A diamond between 2 cells indicates that the difference between the values in those cells is 1, meaning they are consecutive. Consecutive dash. Clones. The circled silhouettes each contain the same 4 digits in the same configuration. Interesting. I can see some shadowy clones back there. But let's get started. So we have some dash chains. These 5 digits all need to be consecutive, which means they have to contain a 5. Because there's 5 of them in this box of 4, well, of 9 cells, meaning they are the digits, well, they have to contain a 5 because they overlap. This digit, well, let's color in the digits that are identical. So this one can be red. The digit on the red cell is all the same. The digit on the blue cell is all the same. Or yellow and green. So each of these digits is identical. Maybe we can actually place some more of them elsewhere in the grid. Like, for example, in this box, this digit would see all of these cells, putting another one of it here. We might not be so lucky with any of the other ones because they all see each other in this box, so they cannot, none of the cloned cells can contain the same digit. They have to be 4 unique digits. There has to be a red digit here. There has to be a yellow digit here. There has to be a yellow digit here. Putting a yellow digit here, and I guess the last one would be here in one of these 3 cells. Interesting that yellow and red are connected by a chain, but green and red are also connected by a chain. The thing is that these 2 cells do not see these 2 cells, so conceivably there could be a repeat on them. Like it could be 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Well, actually, no, it couldn't, because these 2 digits can't be the same digit. because if it was a chain that reflected, these two digits would be identical. So it needs to go in the same direction. So it would have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In fact, I think this has to be 5. The red digit, which is shared between both chains of 5 consecutive digits, unless there's more overlap between the chains, like we know that these 6 digits are not the same, but what about the rest of these? Like this could be 1. No, if this was 1, this would be 1, 2, 3, and these two would be the same. Which means, right, if the chains both go in the same direction, if they start low and go high from this red digit, then these two cells would be identical. So that means they have to diverge from the red cell, which means one has to go up and the other one has to go down, which means they both have to start at 5, which means the red cell is 5. The red digit is 5. We can put a 5 in one of these two cells and one of these two cells. So one of these has to go up, which would be 6, and the other has to go down, which is 4. Then we have 3 and 7, then we have 2 and 8, and then we have 1 and 9. So the yellow digit has to be, the yellow and green digits have to be 1 and 9. In fact, every copy of them has to be 1 or 9. And because this cell isn't 1 or 9, it cannot be a yellow digit, putting another yellow digit here. So it has to be 1 or 9. It has to be consecutive to this digit, which makes that 2 or 8. Right, it's going to be the other one from this one. So it'll be, if this is 9 and 8, this would be 1 and 2. Right, same for here. This is 2 or 8. This digit is greater than 5, so it can be 6, 7, or 8. We already have a 1, 9 pair in this box, so this can't be 9. The blue digit is a little bit interesting. It's not 1 or 9 or 5. That doesn't really narrow it down at all, though. So maybe it's not as interesting as I thought. Right, this digit is greater than 5. So if this is 9, 8, 7, 6, this would also have to be 6. Let's look at the green digits real quick. So there has to be a green digit by this one, and this one in one of these two cells. But since we know that the green digit is 1 or 9, and we know there's a 5 on this diamond, it cannot go here. In fact, these digits need to be 4, 5, or 6. Because we know there's a 5 on the diamond, and it needs to be a digit consecutive with 5. This one needs to be a 1 or a 9. If we go up, that puts a green digit here. There's a red digit in one of these two cells because it can't go here. That can't be, well, that's not 5. Where's the rest of the greens? There has to be a green in one of these 3 cells. Well, it can't be here because this is both greater than unless this is in between 2 values, and 1 and 9 are the extremes. So it can't be there. By these ones, it can't be here or here. That means it has to be one of these 2 cells, pulling it out of here and here. Green was probably not the best color for this because the background's green. I'm going to make this orange. No. Pink. Purple. Right, these digits are 1 or 9. Let's see, the last one has to go in one of these 2 cells. Most of these aren't particularly remarkable. If it does go here, then obviously it has to be 1 because it is a smaller digit than this one. This is a digit less than 4. It has to be 2, well, less than 5. It has to be 2, 3, or 4. Because we have a 1, 9 in this box and row. This digit is less than 5. So this can be at most 4. This is at most 3. It can be 2 or 3. It can't be 1. This can be 3 or 4. What about the rest of the 5s? There can't be 5s here or here. It could be here, which is rather unconstrained. They can't be adjacent to each other. Like these both couldn't be colored. And I think here as well. Well, actually, yeah, it can't. Neither of these cells interact with each other, so it could be there. Never mind. We have a 3-7 pair here. We have a 1-9 pair. We have a 2-8 pair as well. So this is 4 or 6. Huh. It's kind of funny that the boss grid is bigger than the entire courtyard. That's kind of funny. But I guess we're kind of like zooming in, perhaps. These 3 digits are kind of interesting. Because if this is the low half, then these would be the digits, these would be the remaining high digits, right? So this would be, it could be 987, 987, 678, and if it's the low digits, then these would be 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 7, and 8. Interesting set of digits, but I don't think there's really any problem with them. Maybe we can place some more of the blue digits. There could be a blue digit here. There has to be a blue digit in one of these 3 cells. Blue digit in one of these 2 cells. I don't think the blue digit can be here, because if this is, say, an 8, then this would be 9, but the 9 here would put an 8 here, so this cannot in fact be a blue cell. This is a blue cell. Pulling a pink cell out of this one, meaning this is a pink cell. This is 1 or 9. This, in fact, is going to be the remaining extreme digit. If these are high, then this will have to be the low one. And of course that means also because there's a 1-9 pair in this box now. So that's a 1-9. This has to be 2 or 8, meaning it cannot be red. That's a 2-8 pair in this box. So this can't be 1, which means this can't be 2, and that can't be 3. This can't be 9, which makes this not 8 and 7. So the blue has to be 3 or 7. Interesting. 3 or 7. 3 or 7. Which in fact I think makes it this cell. Because in this row, it can't be this box, so it has to be this cell. This is the blue digit, whatever it is. Why did I write it in there? It can still be any of these 3. It has to go here or here because it can't go, well, it can't go in this row. We knew that already. We have 3, 7. Yeah, so this is the last pattern of it. If this is 3, then that makes this 9. Because if this is 3, then that means the low digits are left out, and these are the high digits. If this is 3, if this is 7, then these are the low digits. Well, if this is 7, these are the high digits, these are the low digits, this would be a 1. The only point of interaction I can see is, well, these two cells. Because this one says less than blue, this one says greater than blue, and they both see both of these digits. Which is strange, because if this is a 7 and this is a 1, if this is a 1, then this has to be 2. Actually, no, it isn't strange. It works both ways. Because if this is a 7, this can be anything less than 7, except 1 or 2. If this is a 7, this can be greater than 7, and then it doesn't interact anyways. If this is a 3, this is greater than 3. If this is a 3, then these are 2 and 4, which is fine, I think. Maybe I have to look at this one then? Because pink and blue will be the same parity. They will both be high or both be low. So if this is 3, this is 1, which makes this 4. 3, 1, 4. That would put a 1 up here, either way. If this is 3, then this can only be 2. But if this is 2, then this digit doesn't work, I think. If this is low, then this is also low. One of these is going to be low. This is low, and this is low. So that leaves 5 low digits or that leaves 4 low digits forced into 5 cells, because this one is included. Well, it includes all of these because of the inequalities. So in fact, blue, I think, has to be 7. And pink has to be 9. Yellow has to be 1. And these have to be 7. So that puts 8 and 6 here. 2, 3, 4, 9, 8, 7, 6. This is a digit less than 7, which has a lot of candidates. These are both 2. That's a 6 here. This has to be a digit greater than 7, and it's not 9, so that's an 8. These are 2, 3, and 4 by box. This is an 8. This is a digit less than, no, greater than 7, so that's also an 8. These digits are, well, let's look at these 3. These 3 digits are 3, 4, and 5. I guess that doesn't really help. We're going to need, unless we do more Sudoku, which I'm pretty sure I looked pretty thoroughly at most of the possibilities for these digits. Well, except for the uncolored ones, like this 8, for example. The 8 cannot go here because it's in between. Well, it can't go less than 9, so there's an 8 here. There's an 8 here. There's an 8 here, and the last 8 goes here. There. So that's all of our 8s placed. 6 has to go in one of these 2 cells. This needs to be a 1-6 pair. Means this can't be 5. That seems like a bit of an odd logic. These digits are 2, 3, and 4. These are 2, 3, 4, and 5, because we include the red cell, the red digit. These digits are 2, 3, 4, and 6. And these digits are 3, 4, and 6. These digits are 3, 4, 5, and 6. Well, okay, not 6, apparently. These 3 digits are, we're probably going to look at this inequality. These 3 digits are 4, 6 and 7. This can't be 7, so this needs to be less than 4 or 6. So this has to be 4, 6, meaning this can't be. Wait, no, it's the other way around. This has to be greater than 4 or 6, so it can't be 4. This needs to be less than 6, so it could be 2, 3, 4, 5, not 4. Here's another inequality. These need to be 2, 3, 4, and 6. 6 and 4. This one can't be the 6. This one can't be the 2. So we have a 2, 3 pair in this row. Okay, so that puts a 4 here. So these two are 4 and 5 and 6. Wait, does it? Yes, it does. It eliminates the 3 from this box, or from that cell, yeah. These 3 digits are 2, 3, and 7. Oh, and that's right, that's a 6 here, meaning there's a 7 and a 4 here, which means this is not a 5. Putting the 5 here, and here, and here. I like the coloring, so I'm just going to leave it. These are not 7. Our last 7 pattern is down here. 3, 4, and 6. That's still fine. This digit has to be 6. Yeah. Ah, and there's a 6 here as well. By row. Right, because this digit is less than 4, so it can't be 6. 2, 3, and 7. There's a 6. Yes, here. Obviously. And the last 6 is going to be in 2 of these 4 cells. Oh, right, these 2. This has to be a greater, so this can't be 2, this can't be 4. That's a 3, 4 pair, putting the 2 here. Where's the rest of our 2s? We have got 2s up here, down here, and oh, there's a 3, 4 pair there, putting a 3, a 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 2, 4, 3, 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 3, 5, 4, 5, 6. So that's our final 5s. We're gonna be putting down a 1 here and here. This digit is 2. Yes, putting 7 and 2 here and here. Putting a 7 here. Whoops. Putting a 7 here and a 3 there. Hooray! You converse with the formerly captive girl as, together, you tie up the 4 clone goons with their own rope. I'm Anne, she says. Anne Gibbons. From Roseville. I came here looking for my father. Whoa, we're both looking for our dads? Crazy. Folks have been disappearing ever since this castle showed up right outside town, and he went trying to get to the bottom of it. It's been bad. Real bad. You explain your own quest and the progress you've made so far. And they say that this castle is the source of all Sudoku. Someone must be in charge. That person might know what happened to my father, too. Anne slumps in sudden fatigue. I don't think I'm cut out for this place. You can do Sudoku. I'm sure you'll find my father. I'll go back and wait for you at the edge of town. But take this, it might help. She removes her cloak and gives it to you. You got the dashing cloak. Values separated by a diamond differ by 1. Enter 1 into the boss cell. Cool. We got the dash upgrade. Yippee! So let's put a 1 in here. Unlock the dashing cape. As we knew before, it is digits separated by a diamond differ by 1. Such as these 2 cells and these 2 cells. We can also look at them at the in the inventory, dashing cape, And I guess that's our boss. That's the boss that we defeated. And I guess that means we filled all of the enemies in the courtyard too. Well, the courtyard isn't very big, so that's not too surprising. So, either way, this box, this region sum section contains a 1. Actually, looking at this is interesting. Because there's only 2 digits here. Wait, let me turn on the thingy. There it is. There's only 2 digits in this sum segment. Meaning they have to be greater than 5. So they have to be 6 through 8, or 6 through 9. This can't be 8, which means that can't be 7. And it can't be 9 because 9 isn't only adjacent to 8. This also can't be 1 because it's not adjacent to any of those digits. So this can't be 9 and 6 in this order. So this has to be 5, 6, or 8, 9. And this needs to be... this needs to be an even digit. So in fact, it needs to be 8, 6, 1. And because of this 6, we can put 8... well, actually, I guess 7 and 9 are both next to 8, so that doesn't help us there, but it does put a 6 here in the antechamber. This seemingly empty room appears to lead towards the royal quarters. You feel at a loss as numbers have no effect on your surroundings. Ciphered Sudoku. Fill the grid with a set of 6 distinct letters without repeating any letter in a row, column, or 3x2 box. Each letter corresponds to a different digit from 0 to 9. The cipher is the same throughout the castle. Make sure you have the letter tool enabled. Cells which overlap with other grids should still contain digits. Okay. Huh. So, do these boxes mean that they contain those letters? Are those just given to us? Quest discovered. This quest line is a between line. Values on the line must be strictly between the values in the 2 endpoints. Which line is this? This is the hexagon. So this line here, this one. Wait, this quest line. Values on the line must be strictly between the values in the 2 endpoints of the line. So this has to be 6, which needs to be, I believe, it has to be the upper end of the line of the values, because if this is, say, if there's a 9 on the other side, then these would have to be digits between 6 and 9, which would only be 7 and 8. And we can't put 7 and 8 onto this section of the line because that would be way too big. Well, there's not enough digits for it. So there has to be a 6, and there has to be a digit less than 6. Well, it has to be a 1 or a 2. In fact, wait, does it have to be a 1? Because, yes, these have to be the digits 2, 3, 4, and 5. Well, the only digits that it can appear on the between line are 2 through 5. Because they are the only digits between 1 and 6. So on the other end, there has to be a 1, and the rest has to be between 1 and 6. Right, this is a 3x2 box, I think. These two are still numbers. There's a diamond here, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if that'll actually, I don't know if that'll actually help me solve anything, but it's there. So should I just put the letters D and N in here? N, D. That didn't do anything, so probably not. I'll just leave the letter tool turned off for now because it's very annoying to work with. And presumably Yeah, I'll have to go to the library in order to figure out the cipher. So, next, it's into the kitchen. Several stoves give the massive kitchen area a sweltering heat. Chefs and busboys ignore you as they create delicious smelling meals and ferry them throughout the castle. You're tempted to try one, but where did the ingredients come from? So we've got normal Sudoku rules, hot. Each cell has a value one greater than its digit. That's interesting. So in fact, we have to reduce all of the digits on this line by 1. Because if there is a 5 on this line, it actually has a value of 6. And that means that values, yes, it says values on the line must be between this. So this can be between 1 and 5. Well, 1 and 4. Still don't know what this black line is about, or this yellow line. So, and there's a weird bridge here. Don't know what that's about. Right, I guess this little carrot is that they're hot. I guess I haven't actually, like, unlocked the kitchen properly yet. So maybe I should, place a few more digits first. Were there any other diamonds that we've seen before? There was this one. Oh, there we go. So this is a 3. Cool, that gives us a map of the lower hallway. Fantastic. So these can't be 3. Right, and that gives us the rest of this region sum line. So we don't have to worry about all the pencil marking. This 3 disambiguates that. And this 2 disambiguates this. This hand is just a hand. Right, and we can probably get into the kitchen from here as well. Potentially. We have our region sum line. This is 5 long, so these are the digits between 1 and 5. All of the digits between 1 and 5. And this has to be, well, it's greater, it's 6 or greater. In fact, because 6 and 9 are both seen here, these have to be 7 and 8, putting 6 and 9 here. In this order. Obviously, we're not going to unlock any more, like, reveals, any more stuff revealed in this grid, so we just kind of have what we have to work on, to work with. We do have a 7-8 pair in this column. What could this sum be? Let's look at our handy dandy little chart. I don't know if that actually helps, having the chart. Well, we know there's a 9 on it. In fact, there has to be a 9 by Sudoku. There has to be a 9, which means it's 951 or 942. And it cannot have a 4 because of the 4s here, so it has to be, in fact, 951. And this one can't be the 9, this can't be a 1. 1 in these cells. Pretty ambiguous still. What about these 3? We don't exactly have a lot in this row yet. We know there's a 6 in one of these 2 cells, but that's not guaranteed to be on the line or not. If there is a 6 on the line, there's quite a few possibilities that contain a 6, so that doesn't help a lot. Maybe we can do something with this diamond? No, they have to be consecutive digits, but, well, they can't be 1 and 2, but they could still be like 2 and 3. They could be 3 and 4. And they could be, well, let's put that in. 2, 3, and 4. They can't be 4 and 5. They could be 5 and 6. Can't contain a 7, so they could also be 8 and 9. Yeah, that's kind of useless. But I'll leave it there anyways for now. Where do 7 and 8 go in this column? There's one here. I think the only other spot that 7 and 8 can go is here. This has to be 7 or 8. Because we have let's see, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 9. 1, 2, 3, 5, 9. Yes, this is indeed a 1, 2, 3, 5, 9 quintuple in this column. So that puts us 6 here, 5 here, 4 here, and also puts the 7, 8 here. There's a 7, 8 here, which means the rest of this column is what? 1, 3, 5, 4? Yes. And I think that's it. 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. But we can't have 1 or 5 on it because of the region sum. So this is 4. That's 3. These are a 1, 5 pair. And the remaining digits in this column and box are 2, 6, 7, 8. That narrows this down. These digits narrows this down to 5, 6, or 8, 9. Well, I haven't done interlude yet, so if you want to watch me defeat this enemy, click on the thingy. Wow, I'm not going to cut to that. Man, I'm not even sure when to cut these episodes anymore. Like, they just kind of go until I'm tired. Like, I could literally just cut this whenever I wanted. Like, I just, without even doing an outro, it could just, like, end.